All right. Okay, public comment, limited to 3 minutes. Mr. Dorshevitz will put the clock up on the board there. Anybody wants to say up something? Come on down.
The light is on. My name is Dale Bernhardt. I, along with our residents, have learned a tremendous amount in the last year and a half, what goes on here and how it is done. We have learned Northville Downs was pursued by Mr. Heise and Mr. Heitman well before it was presented to the Planning Commission, and that Northville Downs had huge aspirations to make it a casino. Mr. Heise instructed the Planning Commission to approve as a planned unit development and to leave the community benefit agreement to him. Now Northville Downs is suing our township for $10 million plus, and their lead attorney has added 2 additional attorneys. Unfortunately, we have learned nothing about where the suit stands, even though we have asked. Does our insurance have limits? Do we have deductibles? Also now known is that if you oppose Mr. Heise's projects, he will slander and lie about you on social media. This is how Mr. Heise deals with those with differing points of view. In the summer of 2023, the Planning Commission rejected the Meyer Store project by a 6-1 vote. But Mr. Heise offered his services to Meyer to overturn their decision and would rather have our township sued than to lose credibility with the Meyer family. Meyer is now building a 159,000 square foot superstore, all steel and cement and a gas station, no green or charm included. Trees and green space is not important to Mr. Heise, as witnessed by the Elks Project, Ridge Road, and other projects, even though he takes credit as a tree city. Mr. Heise also wants to delete Huron Valley Ambulance Service, which is free to Plymouth Township and which is used by Plymouth City and shortly Northville City. Also now known is that Mr. Heise was clearly instrumental in the Salem Springs sewage debacle that we probably will be sued for, an issue that has rightfully disturbed Plymouth Township. Other things we have learned include Mr. Heise wanting to build a new fire station with a potential $8 million cost. Mr. Heise wanting to build a new voting center. Mr. Heise wanting new water meters of outdated design that will cost millions but give no benefit to residents. Sparks area residents now know a developer will continue to be allowed to keep coming back with objectionable developments to their closely knit community. Now, what Mr. Heise has not learned is that residents are feeling the burden of increased taxes, food costs, other inflation, and personal debt, and that his goals and objectives are making all of us into beasts of burden. Mr. Heise, this is not the time to add new costs onto your residents. Stop getting us into lawsuits and trying to get your name on a new building. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Heise, we got your number. We know why you canceled your coffee hour at the Friendship Station. You canceled it because people were coming there to call out your lies. You lie on social media continuously, you stalk us, and you slander our names and try to destroy our families, and we're fed up with it. I'd like to know who this cameraman was. It says, the last time the squad was at the senior center, left to right, Xantop, fake camera guy who's still under criminal investigation, Dan Callahan running for trustee, and Bill Pine. These are all veterans that you're trashing. Wonder who the fake guy cameraman gets his orders from. I have no idea who this man was. Turns out he was at that meeting and he handed me a card. I didn't like to talk to the guy, I walked away. You had somebody there taking pictures to trash us. And we don't appreciate it. Good evening, trustees and Mr. Supervisor.
Good evening.
We've been initiating our campaign season. My name is Howard Hamlin, 10306 Normandy Drive. Plymouth Township resident for about 40 years. Many of you I've known for years. And in the past voted for you, actually. Thought you were bringing some fresh air to the township. Having said that, I've got a few comments I would like to make to the public more than to you. The Stop the Racetrack movement is a Plymouth Township resident initiative. Plymouth Township voter initiative. It was started to protect our community, its home values and character. We banded together to become informed of the planned Northville Downs development and the process that was occurring from day one at the Planning Commission level. After hours of research by many members of this particular group, we soon realized the many deficiencies in the process, the shortcomings of this development, and have pushed to block it at every single opportunity we have. We have never had an agenda other than to protect our entire community from the plan to depreciate it with this development, both financially, which we now realize, and culturally. I suggest my fellow movement members take exception to and are insulted by some of the plan that have been promoted in an attempt for a re-election process, dismissing, distorting our motives for political gain. I suggest those who question our motives stand on the records in office. I mean the entire record. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Voters are entitled to the whole truth to make an intelligent decision this August, not disinformation and propaganda. Thank you for your attention.
Hi guys, Bill Pine, 46-year township resident. I'm here today to talk about public safety and alt-right. Recently, I started to see a bunch of Kurt's giant political postcards labeling everyone who's unhappy with his performance alt-right. So I figured I should probably see what that meant. A couple of weeks ago, I talked to a nice 30-something-year-old Michigan State police trooper in Brighton what alt-right meant. He laughed. And he said it was a slimy political term used by some politicians against their opponents and sometimes the police. I thought, slimy politics, and sort of mentally shrugged. But then he said, but. And the but is why I'm here tonight. His but was that the actual definition of alt-right is young white males who are nationalistic neo-Nazis who are opposed to multiculturalism, feminism, racial equality, and Islam. And that gave me serious pause. I did an inventory of everyone I could think of, and the only boxes I could check were young and or white and or male. Nobody I know is alt-right, including all of you guys and me. So what? If you've been paying attention to the news in the last month, you know that 25 miles east of here in East Dearborn and 25 miles west of here in Ann Arbor, there are people saying death to America. The Death to America people in Washington, D.C. are actually threatening decapitation of the enemies of these extremists. My Michigan State Police acquaintance has been posted in Ann Arbor, along with folks from a number of other law enforcement agencies surveilling the Death to America folks to forestall any possible extremist actions. Kurt, you've officially put a bullseye on Plymouth Township with your alt-right stuff as enemies of these extremists. All it takes is for one Death to America extremist to be aware of this and elude the surveillance, and you could have tragic consequences in Plymouth Township. Indiscriminately spewing around reference to alt-right isn't just dumb and irresponsible, it's actually potentially extremely dangerous. So what to do? I suggest that you no longer promote alt-right in Plymouth Township. I would suggest you find a different but safe, slimy political term to address all the people in Plymouth Township who are unhappy with your performance. In conclusion, Kurt, you and your minions shouldn't do dangerous things that potentially put all of Plymouth Township's residents at risk. A good analogy for not saying dangerous things is that there's a reason folks aren't allowed to shout fire in a crowded theater. In that vein, Kurt, you and your minions need to stop shouting outright near Death to America extremist demonstrations. Please show some regard for the safety of Plymouth Township.
Okay, thank you very much.
My name is Diane Belouis, and just when I thought you couldn't stoop any lower, Mr. Heise, you proved me wrong. When the Coffee and Conversation was canceled on April 19th, it stated in the Plymouth Voice that the Plymouth Council on Aging canceled it because there was a scheduled political disruption. They were instructed by you, Kurt, to cancel. You stated in the article that you felt they needed to dial down their mean-spirited messaging and think about the harm they're doing to our seniors. Perhaps it's you, Kurt, that needs to dial down on lies and backroom deals. You always seem to twist things around to make yourself look like a victim. This cancellation was strictly to make yourself look like a victim. It's an effort to suppress free speech by the senior citizens of Plymouth Township. You're a career politician lacking a moral compass. Many seniors in this community take real offense at being labeled alt-right activists by you. We are simply citizens that want the best for this community, and you, by canceling this meeting, we were unable to voice our concerns about what's happening in this township. I will admit that some seniors lack a compass when speaking, and I think that's what you were afraid of. A truly honest and caring supervisor will look forward to questions and concerns of citizens. Why is everything cloaked in secrecy with you, Kurt? Do you have an answer for that? The next thing I wanted to talk about was this ridiculous flyer that came in my mail. It's disgusting. If you paid attention at board meetings, you already know from several comments that this list wasn't intended to be turned over to the board and legally didn't have to be. So this flyer is an outright lie. This is a small community, not Lansing or Washington. You're displaying dirty, underhanded politics that have no place in our community. You have absolutely no moral compass and should be ashamed of yourself. I hope your parents taught you better values than you have been displaying. Thank you.
Okay. All righty. Hearing nothing else, we're going to move on to new business. Okay.
If you, can I say your name and write it down?
I'm sorry.
Your name and write it down so we have it for the
Hi, my
record.
name is Renee Zantop. Hi, I've been my family has been residents of Plymouth Township since I was 5 years old. So, and I'm local to the area. I live in Northville now, but preparing to move back to Plymouth. And I'm just here also to echo many of the concerns that have been stated tonight, Mr. Heise, and also to maybe just express how some of your actions are affecting home life when you call senior citizens alt-right. My father, Dwayne Zantop, is almost 80 years old, and he's done many, many positive things for the community and for employed many people over the years and been very supportive in this community, and he's an upstanding citizen. And for the many pages of slander and disrespect, it is just appalling, and it has a negative effect on all of us. And it's very concerning to me that our township supervisor treats his citizens this way. So I echo all of the statements this evening, and also, again, how it personally affects our family at home in the township.
My name's Alex Wassel. I've been a resident since 1999. I just have a few questions I'd like to ask. It doesn't have to be answered now, but I think maybe it would be helpful at some time that the answers come forthwith. Now, elections are very important. Well, you guys all run for, and ladies run for elections. It's the bedrock of our society. In the upcoming election, I have a question. Does Plymouth Township verify the citizenship status of the voters, or those people that participate in the election? If yes, how? If no, why not? Number two, will all the polling areas and drop boxes be under video surveillance? This is not saying that cheating or anything bad will go on, but do we have the ability to check how our elections are conducted in a video manner? Three, for the Salem wastewater sewage treatment plant status and sewer, what's the current status? Or is there a lawsuit? Are we under negotiations, or we just don't know? I think that's sort of important because it seems like a lot of people are talking about it. And the least important thing, but I'd like to know, there's a sprinkler irrigation cross-contamination program going on, and I guess there are some fines associated with that. I want to know, what's the enforcement authority? Where do we get, who makes the decisions on that issue? Okay? And that's it. And I want to thank everybody for listening to me.
Sure. Alex, if you could send me, here's my, come here. Take my card. Come over this way. Take my card. Email me tomorrow about the sprinkler inspection thing, because we can give you a very detailed answer on that.
Okay.
From our DPW.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
I'd like to be CC'd on that because I'm getting questions.
Well, we all are. Okay.
Been copied on it before, Chuck.
I know,
you've been
but I mean,
copied on
put this one, this question.
All right.
He said he's going to provide
Well, I'll send it to
a
everybody.
detailed response.
I'll send it to
It's
everybody.
been sent out many times.
I know.
They sent it out many
I
times.
just want to know what the response is here. That's all. It's that simple.
Okay, all righty. So, Environmental Leadership Commission, are you guys ready? For item K1?